All right, this is it. First tow for the 23 450. We got it hooked up. She's only got 800 miles, but duty calls. So we're towing before the 1,000, but we got some stuff we got to get done. We made an effort to get to 1,000 miles, but anyway, work needs to be completed. So let's get going. Right away, pulling out of here for the first time towing. This thing really freaking cranks. And loving the camera too, crystal clear view behind me of the trailer, and yeah, pretty sweet. But yeah, I didn't make it to 1,000 miles before the first tow, but I got to 800, so that's pretty decent. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, first time towing. See how she does. So far so good. One of the things about this trailer that is, or not this trailer, but this truck that is so annoying is the seatbelt chime. And they've changed it. Like, it just freaking beeps constantly. It doesn't go bing 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 and pause for a minute. It just
That his truck.
it just freaking beeps and beeps and beeps at you nonstop. So kind of annoying. Wow, though. Accelerating for the first time with the trailer, pretty impressive, I must admit. Anyway, let me hurry up and try to shoot over here really fast to get this machine. We are going to be renting a machine today. Anyway, let's get going. Okay, so we are loaded now. I don't know if you can see that with this machine. It is probably about a 5,000 pound machine, I think. I have to look up the specs, but just whip out in front of me. I have to look up the specs to see exactly how heavy this thing is, but it's definitely pushing the limits on the ramp. Kind of sketchy getting up on those aluminum ramps. What I need to do is go to the metal supply and get some aluminum and just reinforce my aluminum ramps. Just make sure that they don't snap up on me, because I can tell, putting this type of machine on here, those aluminum ramps, they're at their limitation here. So I'm gonna beef them up, but yeah, this truck's towing pretty good. If you could see that, I'll show you once we get to our next stop. But so far so good. What I will say, nothing tows like a 450 with the turning radius. This thing just really can whip some tight corners, some tight corners, and get around some stuff in the tight area. So trailer wise, it almost will fully jackknife the trailer going forward in the full lock turn. If the truck had any more radius in its turning, it would collide with the trailer just by going straight and turning full lock. But anyway, I'll get to the next scene so we can see what we're working with. All right, 4 yards of top going in. Let's go ahead and get back to our destination. All right, so I'm going to talk about the towing on this. We are just finishing up our job. We're going to be getting back in the truck and doing some towing, but I'll show you guys what we did real quick. We ripped all this landscaping out, seeded it, put erosion control hay on top, and we did put peat moss as well, and it was all like soil, topsoil, and yeah, turned out real nice. Alright, so I want to talk about towing with this 450. You can see the trailer in the mirror. What I can tell you is, you're pulling weight. You're pulling what? 10,000 pounds, 12,000 pounds. You don't really know because you're getting topsoil. I ordered 4 yards. He gave me maybe 5 or 6. Weights of all these materials. We just don't know these weights. There's no way to really know unless we scale the truck before and after every load and dump. So the difference really, number one, the suspension is so much better than the 250. With that, the speed. So with the 350 that we have now, not 250, the 350, the speed is so much faster. It's just like you're almost able to just drive the truck like there's nothing there. And we just put, I don't know, 5,000, 4,000. I don't know how much this Bobcat weighs. We just put it in here. Can't tell the difference with it, without it. I'm not going to say you can't tell that the trailer's there. I mean, you can tell. But then again, this truck really gets around quickly with the trailer on it. Something that I do think is kind of cool is when you look at this diesel gauge, you can really see that boost pressure build up fast. That's kind of cool. So the difference, I mean, yeah, your gas engine is perfectly fine. It's going to do the job. It's going to get you through. No problems. But it's just not going to be as fast. You're going to feel that weight. And this 450 suspension is very nice. Very nice compared to the F350, where we were doing the same kind of work. And that thing was just crying. It needs airbags. But it was just, every time you load it, it's just not happy with what you're loading into it. It's like, because we load the nose, sometimes we put soil in the nose, and I think a lot of people don't realize how heavy topsoil can be. It's just 2,000 pounds of scoop if you get a small scoop. But these scoops, the machine hits the pile of dirt, it kind of compresses it a little, and it dump it fluffs out in your trailer. That's just how it's been going. Like, if I buy a half a yard of mulch, by the time he dumps it with the machine, it turns into a yard of mulch. It's just weird how this has been, if you really pay attention. So what I started doing is just measuring my mulch. I started measuring my mulch so that I will know what I'm spreading. And sure enough, I'm when I'm buying materials, when I'm doing quotes, I'm able to tell how many yards of mulch I put down. And whenever I order mulch, I get more for my money, and I just have to plan accordingly and measure what I'm putting down. It's the fluff factor of all the materials, especially mulch. It's like it just compresses and then it decompresses when it's in a trailer. So it's hard to really measure. That's why if you buy bags of mulch, you'll get the exact amount. But if you buy it by the yard, you can, depending on where you go. Now, maybe you go somewhere where they really can tell, but if you go somewhere where they just, like how most places they use a machine, they load you real fast. If you go there, like a place like that, you only really need half of what you need for coverage. You'll pay half the money a lot of times when you get loaded. Sometimes they'll just load you really heavy because if they have a big machine, they really can't measure. So anyway, the way it's towing, pretty good. I know I didn't reach 1,000 miles, but we're getting 8 miles to the gallon while towing, and I think we would probably be getting like not that much. This is probably not that much better than the gas engine, but I've really been driving this thing so much faster too than I would not be driving at 350 that quick. The brakes aren't as good. You get it real heavy, like how we have this trailer, it starts to wander the road a little bit more, especially with the weights are never really perfectly balanced on the trailer. We just go slower with the 350 with the gas engine. It's not a dually either. I think if you had a dually and you tried to drive it as fast, a dually gas, it would handle almost the same minus the engine braking, which the engine braking on this has been really interesting. It's like we complain a lot about the Ford engine braking, but really, it's doing so much computation for its engine braking. It's looking with its camera at what's in front, and if something's in front of you, if there's brake lights in front of you and you hit the brakes and the engine brake kicks up. So aside from the engine braking, I don't know if you could drive like a 7.3 as fast as this. I doubt you could, but if you did, I think the MPG would be awful, because you'd be literally just burying the pedal every single time you drive it in order. Oh no, horrible accident. Terrible. So note to self, don't come this way. So you'd be burying the pedal every single time you try to accelerate, and that would burn so much fuel. And then even so, like I said, we're getting 8. I think if you did this with a gas engine, it wouldn't be able to accelerate like this. Not to mention it'd probably get like 6 miles to the gallon. I don't know. It would be giving it everything it's got just to go kind of as quick as this truck. Now, if you give the gas engine enough time, it'll get to the same speeds. And granted, too, I'm not really speeding with this. I'm not going over the limit. I'm just getting up to the speed limit a lot quicker. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue to drive, monitor how it's driving. See you guys in the next scene. All in all, the F450 did really well. Thank you for watching. My name is Sean. This is DS Trucks. Sorry the video was a little bit, choppy. I didn't really show everything on the job, but just pretty much showed the minimum. It's a lot of work to try to get these videos and stuff made while working. So looking at the footage here, I cut so much out. Like, there was so much footage in here. So comment below if you would like to see some of the footage that was cut out. It was like some of the machine operating, and me with this mower that I built that is like able to move all this material that got cut. It's just like me running it. So comment if you like to see that and some of the machine. And I kind of just thought about it and was like thinking like maybe I don't need to show all that, because it was a little bit distracting from the main point of the whole channel, is the truck content. So comment below and let me know what you think. But anyway, my name is Sean. This is DS Trucks. See you in the next video. Over and out.